for our final, our third speech, Tikar, we will have Jinisha B do the evaluation. So let's give a hand for Jinisha.
Speaking to inform, I would say that has to be one of the most challenging type of projects. Fellow Toastmasters, Edgar, and especially Iftikhar, I commend you for beginning this journey. This whole manual, not just the speech, this whole manual is about speaking to inform. Now when you're speaking to inform, not only do you have to be an expert, an authority figure, and have a lot of subject matter expertise, but also gauge your layman audience's attention to make it entertaining and engaging enough. And I think that is the very first thing that I commend about your speech. The information entertainment ratio to me was commendable. You began with a very relevant story, something that happens to a lot of us. You know, people telling us something interesting and all we have to say in response, send me a link. I'll check it out later on Facebook, send me a text message. And that drew our attention right away. I found it very interesting that you chose Alice as your person to ask questions to. I don't know if that was done on purpose, but I think that was a very good choice. And that shows me that it was a very organized speech. You probably had thought this out. This speech requires, the project requires you to talk about very technical issues that you know very well, but to deconstruct them in general principles. And using Infobon as a general principle and defining that in relation to speed, that was a principle that you invented. So I definitely commend you on that. That is a check mark. Now, when I compare your speech to other authority figures that I listen to on TED Talks, or my professors, or authors, this is one thing, this is a very recurring theme. They talk about very hard to grasp subjects, very technical issues, but they're somehow able to make them relevant for the general audience, and that's what you did very well. You used a lot of technical terms, Netscape. You talked about the adoption of internet in the whole world, and you used a lot of startling facts. There are 2.4 billion internet users in the world. This is one of the requirements of the project as well, so that's quite well done. I have 3 recommendations today. I would recommend that you use more analogies. Because this speech is not just about our common sense understanding of the internet or any topic, but a more technical knowledge, and you wanted to make that subject interesting, I would recommend that you find more stories that each one of us could relate to, and just like the one that you used in the beginning, and use more of those. I did find that the analyst within you came out when you were explaining a very particular topic to Alice, and that is probably the reason you could not finish your speech on time. When I speak with technical clients, I find that once they begin to explain a subject that they are very passionate about, it is hard for them to come back to the general topic that is of more relevance, and I think that is one of your challenges. So I would recommend that you prepare 2 conclusions and alternate conclusion for when you do not have enough time. So you could quickly look at the timer and finish off with 1 key message that you want to drive home. And my 3rd recommendation for a project of this nature is to repeat more. Do not make the audience guess, or do not make them work on guessing what the topic or what the key message is. I think the key message is what I was missing tonight, but I imagine you would attribute that to a lack of time. So in conclusion, wonderful speech, very informative, also very entertaining. Keep it up.